On the Ottawa Cavalry. This is the SFL Minor League presented by APM Music. My name is Josh Circle, joining you with play-by-play tonight. Joining me in the booth, my best friend for the next 2 hours, Cameron Duty. And Cameron, with Annapolis losing earlier tonight, Lexington is the SFL Minor League's sole unbeaten team. Ottawa is facing off against them. Ottawa's not won, but they have not played at home yet. They will do so tonight. What are you looking for in tonight's matchup?
Well, good evening, Josh. Good to be with you. Good to be with everybody out there getting ready to watch some football on a Friday night. I tell you what, it's really exciting, like you said, with them being the sole undefeated team. That's a good feeling to have. You know, you got to wonder how long it's going to last, because one thing about SFL minor football is simply that upsets can indeed happen, because you've got a lot of kids right here, or young rookies, upstart guys trying to make a name for themselves, wanting to make their mark, and this is the place and this is the time to do it. So I think all bets are off. We could see an upset. It's going to be exciting either way, man. Looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well, as are the Ottawa Cavalry. They will start with the football. You see a snazzy new score bug featuring the SFLm helmets, as Ryan Davis, in his first action in the SFL Minor League, gets the ball out to the 24-yard line, and that is where the Cavalry will take over on the offensive side.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Of course, you know, you want to get out here, maintain a good tempo, and for Ottawa right now, you know, put some points on the board first, certainly.
Starting with twins to the left of Tyreek McCall, and throwing, and that is complete out to the 31-yard line. Henry McGee with the catch, 2nd and 3.
So that's a good start right there. I mean, obviously, you know, you don't want to go for all the marbles right off the bat, but one thing that you do want to do is, just like you said, get a good chunk of yardage, make second down more manageable. Here we see that. That's going to give them much more play variety.
McCall under center in the heavy set now for the 2nd and short situation. Hand off to Dwayne Sammons, and Sammons has the first down. Let's meet the rest of the Ottawa Cavalry offense. The tackle, Ray Arnold, stands 6'7", 325. The tight ends, Azami Mihata, you know him from Motor City. Abad Ruiz, the second as well. The wide receiving core, Hedmiri McGee, Ryan Davis, and Dorikas Iniguez. Halfback is Dwayne Sammons, and Tyreek McCall in his first SFL minor league season. Throwing there, and that is bobbled and then dropped by Davis. Well, first game jitters out of the week 3 signing.
Yeah, you know, get a little bit of jitters right there out of the system. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you kind of get those bobbles out of the way early on, so when it comes down to it in this game, you can secure the catch, make some really nice plays.
And now Ottawa lining up with 3 wide receivers, 5 defensive backs on the field for Lexington. Big second down here. McCall throwing over the middle, and that is incomplete as well, and a big third down for the Cavalry coming up, Cameron.
Yeah, here we go right there. Their first challenge right now on 3rd and 10. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do. You know, they've got them backed into a corner here. Ottawa being, down here 0-2 as we go into this week 3. Maybe they want to take some chances, take some risk. Obviously, I'm not talking about going for it on 4th down, but hey, you know, sling it out there and see what you got. This is all about player development.
Player development and high leverage situations. And McCall throwing toward the sideline and had McGee open, but could not get him the football. And now Ottawa will punt it away.
Ottawa, I thought there was a pretty good play design by them. I really do. It seemed like they were doing a nice job of trying to spread the field out there to come up with reception. Just couldn't really connect. And so, of course, that brings Loft out to punt. And we'll see what Lexington can do here if they can keep this 2-0 streak rolling.
And that is another feature of the minor league. You have players that have not played together. They've not gelled the way you've seen some of the major league teams gel, as that punt is nearly blocked. And the big old hit on special teams. You love to see it. As James Beal, the backup strong safety, puts the wood to Barney Burner.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, I'd say close to a month, since I had a chance to call an SFL game, and the last time it was the playoffs. Well, that same energy and attrition is carried over to the SFL minor league because, again, it's still something to play for. And I'm telling you what, they're coming out here giving it their all. I love the enthusiasm in both these teams.
Chad Moore, the quarterback, throws and completes to Burner. Out there on the sideline, it's going to be 2nd and inches. Quickly, let's meet the Lexington Miners offense. The tight end, Xavier Solomon, the two-way player from Carolina, and Oba Bruin, the wide receiver core, Barney Burner, Ian Francis, and Alex Jackson. Willie Smoke is the halfback. And returning from last season, Chad Moore, under center at quarterback. A very strong start here, looking to convert on 2nd and about as short as you can get. Under pressure, and down he goes! Big sack there for Ottawa. That's number 93, Snack Lawrence.
Snack Lawrence was certainly looking for a snack, wasn't he, on that play, my friend? That was so impressive. He was hungry for that quarterback sack, and he got it. Tore right through that offensive line. And, man, with the defensive play like that, that's just going to get them fired up.
From 2nd and inches now to 3rd and 9. Moore will throw again, going over the middle this time. A short completion to Burner. That is nowhere near the sticks. And that is a brutal 3-and-out for the undefeated Miners.
Indeed, and kind of surprising too, right? When you think about it, I mean, I don't know that a lot of people really would necessarily give Ottawa that credit of being able to make such an impressive stand with a team that's looked so impressive on this opening series. Nevertheless, they did, and now they're going to get the ball again. So a good start on the defensive front for Ottawa.
I give them an A+ in the early slobber knocking between the special teams hit and the sack from Snack Lawrence, as Ryan Davis gets the ball out to the Ottawa 36, and the Cavalry will take over on offense. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. To learn more about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. Throwing to the right sideline this time, McCall completes. And that is Derikas Iniguez, 6'2", 220. Now toward the sideline. And actually, I don't think we got a signal on that. Actually, yes, 2nd and 6.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I know it was close over there, but I thought he did a good job of bringing down that reception and keeping his feet in bounds to get some positive yards.
A 2 tight end set for the Cavalry. Out of the power I. McCall handing off to Sammons. And Sammons will barely find the 42 to make it 3rd and 4.
I think there's a lot of attention and maybe even a little bit of pressure riding on Dwayne Sammons this year, returning from last season, a workhorse for this team. He's going to have to carry them, especially with some of these youngsters out here. So expecting a big day from him, but no doubt he's got the shoulders to carry it.
And it looks like he is going to get that volume too, Cameron. McCall throwing on 3rd and 4 under pressure. Releases and nearly picked off. That was Shane Hill, the cornerback. Got between Iniguez and the ball. And now Ottawa will go 3-and-out.
Honestly, it looked like Shane Hill was running that route, did it not? It looked like he was playing offense there.
It really did. He read the play perfectly. And Iniguez was just helpless.
That was a great job. It really was. A nice job to come down with that deflection there and stop the drive.
In Ottawa, in that sense, Cameron, fortunate to be punting here. High snap and has nearly blocked again. Lexington getting good pressure on the punter. And again, Burner goes down in a heap, this time down at the 22. And that is where Lexington will start their 2nd drive of the game.
Really just kind of been a seesaw back and forth so far. You go out, then I go back out. 0-3, or 3 downs here, 3 downs here. Literally, it's been kind of a ping pong match. Now we're just waiting to see who can get the first consistent drive of this game.
And Chad Moore's going to come out swinging, trips to his right in a bunch set, short drop, throws to his left though, and that is caught and going upfield is Xavier Solomon. Past midfield and will get dragged down in plus territory at the Ottawa 44.
when you're 6'4" and you're 245 pounds, it's tough to bring him down. I mean, let's just be honest here. And that's why they target him. Look at the height and the weight advantage that he has. He has great hands. He has great accuracy. He's got good speed when he gets in the open field. And look right there, perfect examples of it. You can't bring him down on just one tackle. Usually it takes two or more. And that's why you're going to see this guy be a threat all throughout this game. They're going to have to really lock in on him.
Solomon, of course, is the backup tight end for the Carolina Skyhawks in the big league. But as he is not a top 20 player, is permitted to keep his spot here in the SFL minor league. And Chad Moore, very excited about that as he throws to Ian Francis this time, the shortest receiver on this Lexington Miners team at 5'10" tall. Makes it 2nd and 5.
You know what's really neat about him, even though he has that smaller stature right there, he's 185 pounds, and the guy can run. Great for those little short, shallow patterns where you just need to kind of get a quick yard here or there, and sometimes break it through for a big one as well.
Moore will throw again, under pressure, and down he goes, sacked for the 2nd time tonight, and again by Snack Lawrence.
Well, he's making his presence known early in this game. 2 sacks, and we're still in the first quarter. That Lexington offense is going to have to maybe change some things around if they want to keep him out of the backfield because he is wreaking havoc right now.
That he is. A 3rd and a country mile now for the Miners. Trips again, this time to Moore's left. 7-step drop, steps up in the pocket, and off he goes. Trying to run for the first down. And probably did not make it. It certainly didn't make it to the sticks. Probably did not make it into field goal range either. Stranded at the Ottawa 38, now 4th and 4.
I got to give him credit on that one. I know it wasn't probably was his only hope. It looked like everything was locked downfield, defended pretty well. And so he just did the best he could, just tucked the ball and went with it. A little bit short, but they may be able to pin him back there deep.
Victor Ironleg lets a good one go. And look at the backspin on that. But unfortunately dragged into the end zone by Trent Wentworth, backup halfback. Ironleg, a bit dejected, did his part, but did not get the cooperation from his special teams unit, and that'll be a touchback for Ottawa.
That was rough. That was so close. And as a punter there, you do your part, you pin them down there. It's discouraging when it doesn't all come together.
And with that, McCall will take over at his own 20-yard line. 2 tight end set. Setting the table here, perhaps camera for Dwayne Sammons. Said Lexington's going to jump offside. Sammons does run up the middle, but there's going to be a flag on the play. About 5 yards. We'll see if they take the penalty or not.
A lot of jitters so far in this game. 3 weeks in, and you're still seeing the nerves on some of these players.
That you are. And the Cavalry will take the penalty, negating the run for Sammons, but 2nd and 5 nonetheless for Ottawa. Let's meet the Lexington Miners defense. At defensive end, Gerald Cumbus, and inside linebacker DJ Kilgannon. Both of those players returning from last season. And outside linebacker Noah Davis. Welcome to the league, sir. The rest of the defense after this play, as McCall will swing it out to Sammons, looking to get upfield, and is dragged out of bounds just short of the marker. At cornerback for Lexington, Shane Hill and Andre Tucker. The free safeties, Guy Incognito and Willie Bands. And the strong safety, J.J. Bailey. And that is your Lexington Miners offense, Cameron.
I have to say that it's quite interesting there. I got to give a shout out to Ottawa. Sammons right there had caught that pass in the backfield, made something out of nothing. This could be a little bit easier for him to convert on.
Short yardage situation. Sammons gets to the marker and is shoved across the line to gain for good measure. Out to the Ottawa 33, a fresh set of downs for the Cavalry.
Also, talk about that Lexington defense. They are stacked with some very good players, of course. And it's going to be interesting to see who wins this game of attrition so far right now. As we said, nobody really able to put any points or sustain drives up.
And Ottawa content to pound it out at this point, going to Sammons again. But it's DJ Kilgannon, the inside linebacker, in his 2nd year in the minor league, coming up with a tackle for loss.
It's kind of one of the guys I was looking at there, talking about Kilgannon, 6'5", 255. Again, another veteran here returning from last season. So those guys like that, you got some of that experience on defense. That's going to pay big dividends for Lexington.
McCall in the shotgun now, going 4 wide, under pressure, steps up in the pocket and unleashes the dragon. And that looked like it was on target for Enriquez, but could not be brought in. Kilgannon again on the scene.
Yeah, right there in the middle of the action, wasn't he? And I mean, it was really kind of looked to be as if it was up for anyone to come down with that one, and that one falls harmlessly to the ground. I'd say Kilgannon maybe beating himself up a little bit for not coming up with the INT, but we'll see what happens here on 3rd down.
And a great job by McCall to extend the play. Can he do it here on 3rd and 11? Short drop over the middle. That is caught, and that will be short of the marker as Harry Harper, the backup wide receiver here, comes up short. It'll be 4th and 4.
And again, as we said, they show a little bit of promise there. Even that time, Ottawa getting the free play there with the penalty. And still just really not able to even get it across midfield. Every drive so far by both of these teams have stalled out around the midfield line.
Ottawa did manage a 1st down on that drive as Lexington gets pressure on the punt again. And Burner again down to the 25. Visit the all-new league website presented by Football Shift at simulationfl.net, featuring all the league highlights, photo galleries, playoff and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more. The all-new league website. Check it out at simulationfl.net. And that is a serious upgrade, I must say. Chad Moore looking to upgrade this offense here. Gets it to Burner, and Burner gets out of bounds. Not of his own volition, most likely.
Well, I think if Burner had been able to have stayed in bounds there, I think he saw what you and I both did, which was a lot of room to run. And, you can kind of see that in his movements after that reception there. Just kind of stepped out of bounds and was kind of beating himself up after that.
Lexington has the only chunk play, if you will, of this game. Xavier Solomon's 34-yard catch and run. Which happened on the previous drive. Chad Moore looking for another one of those. Throws it out to Willie Smoke. And Smoke, approaching midfield, is brought out of bounds at the 43.
Yeah, Willie Smoke, number 45, 6 foot, 210 pounds. We'll take a look at that last play. Again, just a nice job. A play that we see pretty traditionally here in the SFL, that little dump out to the halfback, and it works really well for a lot of teams. Same here in the minors. That's a really good gauge to kind of determine if your halfback is good at receiving as well and yards after the catch. So that's why we see that so often. Especially in this series, wanting to just see what those players can do with it.
And making the first defender miss as well. An attribute major league teams will salivate over. Smoke again has the 1st down, couple of spin moves. Flag on the play, brought down by Roy Towers, the quarterback for Ottawa. While we're waiting for the penalty, let's meet the Ottawa Cavalry defense. On the front, Ralph Leopold at defensive tackle. An inside linebacker, Tommy Wellbrock-Busey. The outside linebackers, Dusty Kilbrew and Logan Thronberg. And in the secondary, Kippa Jones, Roy Towers, Devontae Moore, Matt Ryan, and J.J. Winfield.
And they got clipping right there on the minor, so that's going to set them back just a little bit there. They'll have to do it again, this time from a little farther out.
2nd and 15. Time winding down here in the first quarter of play. It's been a bang-bang affair so far. Willie Smoke catches the high screen pass. And we'll get back to the 36. Still a lot of chicken left on the bone to get that 1st down.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess they wanted to play a little conservative there on that, see if they could pick up some of those yards that they lost. And they did get some yardage, and it kind of gets them back to the original sticks now.
This is the kind of game that Ottawa likes to play. As Moore under pressure again, and down he goes, this time from the right side. And that was number 98, Buster Ramirez.
Great job by Ramirez right there. I mean, just so impressive being able to just come through again. Penetration on that offensive line. We've seen it on both the left and right side so far today. I mean, this may become an issue that we're going to see, maybe a weakness, a chink in the armor for Lexington, if you will. Right now, Ottawa getting a lot of pressure.
Lexington, who scored 30 and 31 points in their first 2 games of the season, have had 3 sacks in as many drives, and now punted back to Ottawa, and they will take over on their own 31-yard line. Ottawa maybe not winning handily in the field position battle, but has had better starting field position so far, more than their Lexington counterparts. We'll see what Tyreek McCall is able to do with that here in the last minute of the first quarter. Under center here for 1st and 10. Lexington showing pressure. McCall over the middle. That is knocked away by Noah Davis. The new player making his presence felt. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
You know, I got to say something about these teams. Both these defensive units, they're playing like the doomsday defense and Steel Curtain of the 70s. You know what I mean? They are just everywhere all at once. Kilgannon again getting a nod there as well, being right there in the middle of the coverage, as well as Davis. So right now, this has just been a defensive game all the way.
And now with 6 defensive backs on the field, McCall will try to throw it again and throws underneath and finds his receiver. That's Dorikas Iniguez, who hangs on to it this time to make it 3rd and 4.
That's all that they're allowing them to really get. Also, if you've noticed, Josh, it's just a dink and dunk here, 3 yards here, 4 yards here, maybe 5 yards at the most, but we haven't really been able to see them convert yet. Just leaving them right there in the middle of the field behind the sticks.
We are scoreless north of the border. Ottawa looking to put the first points to the board on the game. You're watching the SFL Minor League presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Josh Zirkle, camera duty in the booth just for you. Undefeated Lexington in a scoreless tie right now with the upstart Ottawa Cavalry. And Tariq McCall will unload it to Dwayne Salmons. And Salmons, again, is going to be short. And I think Ottawa has, between these two teams, maybe more trouble getting out of their own way. And they played 2 close games to begin the season and lost each of those games by 1 score. And as they go 3 and out here again, I think it might just be a matter, Cameron, if they're getting out of their own way before they could put a drive together.
That's what it looks like. I agree with you 100%. They've just not been able to put it together yet.
And now Lexington will get their best starting field position of the night as they take over at the 30-yard line. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th to 30th for season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the convention alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast and some have already sold out. Reserve your special group rate today. We'll see you there. Not if I see you first. Chad Moore going over the middle. That is caught by Xavier Solomon, who has been doing all of the offense here so far for Lexington tonight.
Yeah, and I think you'll see them go back to him again and again, until they can find a way to stop him. And it's going to be little things like that you see him just kind of break off the offensive line right there, make himself open, and he's such a big, strong target, as we mentioned earlier, a hard guy to bring down, very versatile. You may see him come up with a lot of big-time plays in this one.
Solomon now lined up to Moore's left, gain of 13 for the tight end on that play, handing off to Smoke. And Smoke will take a shoulder from Devontae Moore. Love to see the cornerbacks playing run defense. 2nd and 8.
And a nice job of coming up and just really in pursuit of that football there. And a great tackle right there around the midsection, making sure nothing fancy, just going to get him down and keep him from getting any additional yards.
Yeah, you could put that tackle in a textbook training video. That's how terrific it was. Yeah. Moore throwing over the middle again. And that is incomplete, intended for Alex Jackson. Well defended there by the Cavalry secondary.
Yeah, Tommy Welbrock Bousset there. Just a great job on that. 6'3", 247 pounds. And again, look at that, just coming in, making the deflection, and definitely just putting a stop to that one.
And now 3rd and 8. Chad Moore will have 3 receivers to his right. No tight ends in the game. Oh, that is Solomon on the right side, excuse me. All slants, throwing to the right side. Incomplete. Interesting choice throwing to Chris Armstrong, the backup wide receiver. And that will be another chance for Victor Ironleg to show his quality on 4th down.
Was an interesting play scheme. I was kind of surprised at that. I guess they're trying to maybe throw him off as well. Just give one of the other guys a chance to come up with a big-time reception. Just wasn't there. So here we go again, back to the other side.
4th punt of the night for Ironleg. No pressure this time. And that's a pretty good punt as he gets it inside the 20 and brought down immediately is Ryan Davis. And they will start right at the 20-yard line.
Let's give a call to the special teams unit for both of these teams. They haven't allowed a return to even honestly take place. It seems like every single return has been stopped right dead in its tracks, right where they fielded it.
And some big hits there as well. And now Ottawa looking to break the tie here. McCall over the middle.
Oh,
And what a catch! Bailing out his quarterback is Henry McGee with the one-handed grab.
that was pretty. And that's liable to end up on the highlight reel right there. Great job by Henry McGee, 6'2", 191, putting leagues on notice right there. That if you can do stuff like that, fundamentals are great, flash is great too, but, you always look for a receiver who can just kind of come up with that clutch pass. If you don't have both hands involved, hey, see if one will do the trick.
Salmon's up the middle, sidestep it and gets to the 40. And is brought down there by Guy Incognito in the Lexington secondary. And this Ottawa offense starting to hum, Cameron.
They are. They're starting to feel the momentum, and that's what you look for is a rhythm. We've not seen that out of either team thus far in this game, Josh, but now we're starting to. Now it's just a matter of really crossing the 50-yard line, seeing if you can capitalize.
And now a 3 tight end set here from the Cavalry. Heading off to Salmons again in short yardage. And he is going to be stopped just short of the marker. 3rd and inches now. Decision time for Ottawa. Do you keep it with Salmons or do you put it in the air?
I think you got to keep it. I mean, Salmons is starting to feel pretty good in this game. The legs are churning. I think you give him a chance to go at it as well and see if this offensive line can get a push.
And another 3 tight end set, and they do go to Salmons, and Salmons stopped. At least hit short of the line to gain, and that was number 93, Ian Loudon. And it's going to be 4th and inches, and here comes the punt team for Ottawa.
My goodness. I mean, that was ever so close. What a job by that Lexington defense to just go in there and come up with a big-time stop. I mean, they put all the pressure on them to come in and make a play, and boy, they did. They stopped them short on the smallest of margins.
High snap, but it is handled by Aiden Loft. And no fair catch that time. Cameron, you've mentioned the special teams play and how great it's been. What about these returners putting life and limb on the line? Barney Bernard there most recently refusing to make the fair catch signal.
If you remember the old Super Nintendo games when you used to get injured and they'd bring out the ambulance and then they'd roll them away, on the field while everybody stood and looked on attention. I swear some of these players, they're getting beat up, like you said, risking life and limb. I mean, I don't know how they're getting back up.
Chad Moore out to Willie Smoke on the screen, and Smoke is seated at the 28-yard line. Make it 2nd and 5.
It's been a hard-hitting game, back to that point, Josh. I mean, it really has been, a game of both defenses, even down to the special teams coming up and making some big-time stops. Well, I mean, we're approaching halftime here, and very few first downs and no points to be had.
It's just been a slugfest, too. Both defenses putting the clamps down. Moore this time, trying to find his receiver, and Burner doesn't look like he even got a hand on that ball. As number 42, Roy Towers, does the incomplete dance. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, nice job right there. Nice deflection. Just to bat that one down. Hey, what is there to say that we haven't said already in this first half about both of these defenses? They've been everywhere. Anywhere that ball's been traveling, they've been right there to knock it down or bring them up just short.
Now Moore in a 3 wide receiver set on 3rd and 5. Under pressure, and he's going to go down again. 4th sack of the night for the Ottawa defense, and a 3rd for Snack Lawrence.
He's going to get my MVP of the game thus far. We'll wait and see what happens in this one. But I tell you what, this is a team, they're 0-2. They're hungry for their first win. I don't mean to keep making food references when I say Snack Lawrence, such as hungry. But I mean, really, you can just tell, man, that guy is – he's fighting every time that he comes off that line of scrimmage, and they just can't bring him down.
And I hope we're not making everyone hungry with a constant reference to snacks. I do like the more relaxed atmosphere of the SFL minor league. And sometimes I just want to pull out a bowl of chips while I'm calling a game, but obviously that's not feasible to do. And Ottawa is going to get some really great field position here. Best of the night for either team, out to the 46. Just a couple short downs away from field goal range. Liking the game so far, smash that like button. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. No one else gives you that much football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLm action, and help the channel grow through your support. And here's some support from Dwayne Salmons as he gets into plus territory the first time tonight for either team, 2nd and inches.
Well, there you go. I mean, Salmon's finally coming up with a big play. He is doing a fantastic job. Again, been one of their workhorses so far. I said that they were going to rely on him in this game. And again, you see right here, they're short. They're going to go back to him. He really is wanting to make a conversion after what happened on that last drive where they got stopped short.
Ottawa not deviating from the game plan at all, and Salmons with a nice hole to run through. Gets the first down and gets inside the 40-yard line down at the Lexington 39.
And he got it, didn't he? I mean, you see it as time goes on, Josh, as we watch all of these games, these SFL, the pros as well as the minors. The more that you get a player involved, man, the better that they get.
And the other thing, too, is that when you have a team like Ottawa here that knows who their identity is, and Dwayne Salmons, and running the ball, grounding and pounding, and trusting your defense to take care of business on the other side, which they have done magnificently so far in the first half. It makes your life a lot easier when things do hit the skids. And I would say even easier than that when things are actually going well, because we're at 2nd and 8 now. The Lexington 38. McCall, all the time in the world, lobs a rainbow. And that is complete, and that is a fresh set of downs for the Cavalry in field goal range for the first time tonight.
That's Ryan Davis right there, if I'm not mistaken. The Week 3 signing coming up with the big-time reception. Hey, the new kid in town, they put you right to the test, and a great reception right there, if I'm not mistaken, Josh. I think that was Davis. He did a great job.
I believe it was as well. McCall throwing to the right side this time. Terrific defense by Lexington. That was number 23, Shane Hill. He's had a pretty good game so far, trying to contain Harper, and that'll be 2nd down.
And we'll continue with the defense theme tonight, Josh. I mean, another textbook tackle right there coming in and stopping that from being a reception of any sort. Probably a good thing it did fall to the ground. Honestly, there was no yardage to be made there. But again, what a nice job of the defense coming in and stopping and not interfering and getting a penalty on themselves.
Yeah, and the receivers really have had no chance to catch the ball, as you've mentioned, Cameron. McCall trying to get that one into the window, and Iniguez again going over the middle, doing the dirty work. And that'll make it 3rd and medium. Kilgannon on the tackle.
We've got Snack Lawrence over there for Ottawa, and then you've got Kilgannon here for Lexington. 2 big-time defensive players who came to play today, no doubt, and they're on my radar for early MVPs of this game.
Bit of a surprise to go see in the shotgun on 3rd and 6. McCall going to put it in the air. Finds his receiver, and that's going to be 4th and inches as Iniguez doesn't get past the marker. Unbelievable. Not only the decision, but also the inability of the receiver to convert the first down. And now decision time again for Ottawa.
I'd say they'll probably play it safe and try to take the points. And I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong, Josh.
No, I'm with you.
Never mind.
Think about how big a 3-0 lead would be in this game, but they're going to try for it. Dwayne Salmons is going to put the team on his back here on 4th and inches. Can they convert?
Unless it's
with time winding down in the first half? No, they're going to call a timeout.
Whew, I mean, I literally thought, I assume that we'll see the field goal unit on. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but I really was about to say, as you mentioned, 3 points in this game could be the difference between win or loss at this rate of scoring that we've had. And you've got to take the points if they're there. Sure, you want to get the first down, of course, keep the drive going. You want 6, but in a game like this, when literally the end zone has been like an island out there that you just can't reach, you got to get what you can.
I agree. And you saw Tyreek McCall on the sideline. I'm not sure he agrees with you, Cameron. I do. And I think kicker Eric Jacobson will agree with you as well. Kicking from 33 yards on the right hash for the first points of the game. Spot is down. Kick is up. And that is good from 33 yards. And Ottawa's on the board first.
And that feels like a major victory, doesn't it? You know, it's so funny. We'll watch a game. I mean, we'll watch hundreds of games all throughout, the SFL seasons, the pros and the minors. And some games, a field goal, that determines it all. In some games, you're like, well, hey, you know what? A field goal's nice, but you needed to come up with 6 there. And it's just the different tides, man. And in this game right now, 3 points on this board was a major breakthrough.
Absolutely. Eric Jacobson breaks the 0-0 deadlock with a 33-yard field goal to make it 3-0 Ottawa. And now Barney Burner will get out to about the 25-yard line.
Again, good coverage on that kick return.
It really is. I mean, there's really no opportunity. And you're dealing with, a less stratified pool of talent. And you don't have a lot of opportunities to break big plays anyway. But with the defense flying around like this on both sides for both teams, even more difficult. Chad Moore is going to throw on first down out to the sideline, and that is caught by Ian Francis. And Francis very close to the sticks as well. We'll see where they put the ball and see if that is a first down.
It's so interesting. Everything in this game, even down to, field goals, a 3-point game. It's also been a game of inches. We have saw a lot of plays that have been determined by either just a couple of inches enough to get that first down or to fall short of it. How many times have we seen the battle take place right around that line to gain?
Quite a few tonight, actually. And we're not even halfway through this game. Time winding down here in the first half. In and out of the fingers of Barney Burner. Oh, Barney, what is you doing?
Oh, man, you got to come up with that right there. Take a look at that wide open. You beat him on the route, which was really the most difficult part of that entire series. And I guess he just maybe was looking ahead, getting ready to run downfield, maybe brace himself for the oncoming hit. That's unfortunate. I do think he'll get a chance to regain himself, redeem himself in this game. I think that you're going to see them maybe go back to him before too long. You just have to.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Moore gets his team to the first down this time. Willie Smoke doing the dirty work between the tackles, and Lexington does move the chains.
Executing a good game right there, a good gameplay on that one, and brings us down to that 2-minute warning.
Ottawa with this tight lead. As you can expect to see here in the SFL Minor League, Lexington looking to answer. You're watching the SFL Minor League presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. We got a hot one here tonight. Lexington undefeated on the ropes here in the first half, north of the border. Josh Circle, Cameron Duty in the booth. Cameron Irvine producing very strenuously, I might add, as Barney Burner gets close to the sticks again. And Cameron, as we mentioned, the game of inches reigns supreme again, as they are just a bit short of the marker.
Yeah, just a little bit there. I mean, and you've got to look here. Obviously, you want to come up with a conversion, Josh, but also time's ticking, too. I would expect to see a tad bit more urgency out of Lexington.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some hurry up. Should Lexington convert here? Moore under pressure again. Shrugs off a defender.
Get rid of it.
Trying to run and is going to get the first down. But clock continues to run. And no urgency from Lexington. Looks like they're going to huddle.
None whatsoever. I mean, literally right now, every second counts. And, you know, he did end up getting that first down, which is great. But save some time. Throw that ball away if there's nothing downfield.
Just over a minute to play here in the half. Lexington still looking for their first points of the game. Chad Moore could unleash the dragon, and that is caught! A quail finding its way into the hands of Alex Jackson, and Lexington calls timeout.
And there you go, just like that. Isn't that amazing? At first, we were just watching, you know, as he tried to struggle for the 1 yard, and then look at this pass. I mean, yeah, literally just a lob. But boy, he put it right where his receiver, Alex Jackson, could get it. So obviously, and easily, the best play of the game thus far by Lexington.
Absolutely, and you quack all you want. That was right in the breadbasket of Ian Francis, or of Alex Jackson, excuse me. And Jackson thinking, man, I need a few more of those. As he goes to the sideline. Now less than a minute to play. Fresh set of downs. Lexington in field goal range. And Moore's going to uncork another one and another catch, this time for Lexington. And of course, it's Xavier Solomon.
Yeah, we said it, didn't we, Josh? We said that name was going to come up big in this game, and there you go, right there. The big man, watch this route, cuts inside, and amongst three defenders, over the top of everybody, and comes up with that reception almost with ease. That was a beautiful play. It really was. Made that look so easy when it certainly wasn't.
An explosion of offense here in the last minute and a half, as Lexington now has first and goal. With less than a minute to play, they are down to their last timeout. And that may affect the play calling here. Chad Moore under center, twins to his right. And hands off to Smoke. Smoke up the middle, and they will hurry up on second and goal.
Interesting here. I mean, what are you going to go with?
Smoke again. Inside the 5, touchdown! Lexington finds the end zone the first time tonight for either team.
And didn't that change quick, Josh? I mean, really, we were just, 3 plays ago, 4 plays ago, they were back around midfield, and we're thinking, man, you know, I don't know if they're going to get this yard to convert. And then all of a sudden, a burst of offensive energy, 2 incredible passes, and then a couple of run plays. And just like that, Lexington on the board. And in perfect timing, too. I mean, 36 seconds left here in the first half, and all of a sudden, this game just changed entirely.
A massive drive, and what an answer from the field goal from Ottawa to go from their own 25-yard line, 75 yards down the field. But now that Barney Burner drop that we had in the first set of downs of the game on second and inches, that we just thought, oh boy, here we go again. But instead, Chad Moore scrambles for a first down. Xavier Solomon makes a huge catch. Alex Jackson, a huge catch as well just before that. And then first and goal, it's Willie Smoke in his first SFL minor league season, punching it in to give the undefeated Miners their first lead of the game at 7-3. And now Ryan Davis will go out to the 30-yard line and give Tariq McCall perhaps a chance to add some points before the break.
You know, let me just say this. Lexington, the offense has last names such as Smoke and Burner. That was and let me just say this, they were on fire at the very end of that last possession.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to change. I think that's going to give this offense even more confidence, too. Ottawa really needs to respond if they can.
McCall going 5 wide here. He's going to throw one over the middle, and that is knocked away. J.J. Bailey going up and away to knock that down, make it 2nd and 10.
Not that the defenses haven't come up with some big-time plays in this game. That's really has been a defensive game up to this point. But when you see your offense go out there, that just does something. I mean, that kind of reinvigorates you. That revitalizes you. And I think you can see these guys playing really tough off the ball.
In Ottawa going from 5 wide now to 3 wide with 2 backs in the backfield. Lexington showing blitz. Both backs staying in the block. McCall unloads one to Iniguez. And Ottawa will hurry up here on 3rd and 6.
Seems kind of content to just maybe go into the half there, take it kind of easy, come back out and fight again.
10 seconds remaining. McCall under pressure. Another dump off to Iniguez, short of the marker. Ottawa does not use either of their timeouts, and that will be the end of the first half. Lexington looking to go 3-0, off to a good start. They have the only touchdown of the game, leading 7-3 over Ottawa. Cameron Duty, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, it was fun. It really was such an interesting game. We come out really expecting something entirely different than what we got, Josh. But what we got was a defensive stand for the most part in this game. And then both teams able to capitalize, put some points on the board before the end of the half. Of course, Lexington really overall had the bigger plays as this first half continued to roll on. They weren't able to convert until that very last drive, but you can see it right there. In the end, we got the field goal for Ottawa there, the 3 points, and then right back down the field with big-time receptions for Lexington there, and finally Willie Smoke ending that drive with a touchdown. Man, it's just been fun. That's all I can say. This minor league has been nothing short of fantastic as far as I'm concerned, because you're seeing these players who are giving it all they got, wanting to make a name for themselves, Josh, and we're going to see more as we go into the second half. I can't wait. I'm having a blast with you.
I'm really enjoying this as well, Cameron. It's been a fun game, too. In Ottawa, it looked like they had everything breaking their way, and a war of attrition, a battle for yardage, and then finally getting the first points of the game late in the first half, only to surrender a 75-yard drive to the undefeated Lexington Miners, culminating in that Willie Smoke touchdown. And you're all caught up. It's 7-3. And here we go. Lexington will start the second half with the football as Burner takes this from inside his own 5 and is brought down at the 23-yard line. And the big Achilles heel for Lexington has been protecting their quarterback. Chad Moore has been scrambling a lot, and he's been brought to the ground 4 times tonight.
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the most pressure that we have seen on their quarterback and this offensive line so far 3 games into this season. So Ottawa does have a good plan. They're making something work, utilizing those big men up front. Now, what can Lexington do to prevent that?
Moore throwing 4-man rush. And the receiver brought down by Roy Towers again. I think that was Burner on the left sideline, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, we said they'd go back to Burner. He had the drop at the end of the first half, but, he's too good of a receiver for them to not go back to him. He's going to get a chance to redeem himself there. I truly believe that.
And the question for Lexington, how much do you want to put the ball in his hands at this point in the game? Up by 4, and it looks like they have opened the playbook up a little bit, now throwing to Alex Jackson to make it 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was a cool little play design right there. That's that quick stop, turning around, looking for the ball, and a really good timing between quarterback and wide receiver right there. About the time he turned to look for that football, it was right in his hand. So you can tell that's something that they worked on quite a bit during practice this week.
And now Twins to Moore's left, both tight ends in the game. And fumble! Ball is on the ground, and Lexington does recover. That is the first forced fumble of the game for either team. Willie Smoke coughed it up, but his team was able to hold on to it just enough for them to punt it away.
First offensive snafu so far that we have seen. It was there were no turnovers in the first part of this game, so that was really interesting right there, and just enough to bring it to a 4th down.
Victor Ironleg punts it away. Davis waits at his own 35 and will be credited with a return of 1 yard as he gets out to the Ottawa 36.
Yeah, Lexington kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit right there with that fumble, but let's give credit to this Ottawa defense, because Lexington they were very much feeling the momentum coming out of the locker room going into this 3rd quarter, and Ottawa did a good job to respond.
And Ottawa going right back to the heavy set. Ready to put the ball. No, they're going to throw here, and that is deflected and nearly picked off. It looked like DJ Kilgannon would have had a straight line to the end zone if he was able to close his mitts on that football.
Azami Mihata there was the one, I believe, that was trying to come up with that reception. Just bounced off his hands there. I think what had happened was maybe he wasn't quite ready for that that pass, and you saw protection crumbling around the quarterback, so he just kind of had to get rid of it.
Yeah, timing plays in traffic are always precarious, especially here in the minor leagues. Samus does get the call here on second down, out to the 45, and that is where he will be seated by that Lexington defense. 3rd and 1.
I expect to see him more right now, Josh, in this game. I think that he's just waiting to break loose if they can let him, and also if the offensive line can maintain and get a good push. He's primed for a big run right here, I feel like.
Another short yardage situation. The box stacked with Lexington, 9 players in there. And Samus gets a call all the same and converts on the short yardage run, and Ottawa will get a fresh set of downs.
It felt like he ran 10 yards to get one, didn't it? I mean, watching him kind of, juke in and out right there just to get that first down. But a great job. That's one thing that he's very good at is getting to the marker. And we saw them utilize him a couple times in that during this game, and, of course, going right back to him there.
And now 20 personnel. And McCall will look to put the ball in the air. Coming back for it is the receiver, and that's going to be a loss as Ryan Davis had to go back to that football. You'd been better off just letting it sail out of bounds to the sideline.
Agreed. I was thinking the exact same thing. You know, sometimes even though it's nature to see that ball in the air and go for it, I mean, obviously you don't want to give up on a play, but my goodness, yeah, that just took them back, 4 very important yards.
To the 43 now. They need to reach the Lexington 43. And Samus will bust outside and finally gets into plus territory. J.J. Bailey made a tackle, and if he hadn't brought Samus down, I'm not sure who would have.
No, because it looked like he had that open room we were just talking about. I mean, he's really is just a couple of blocks away from really busting that thing open right there. And a good job by Bailey to come in and make a very important tackle, because he could have very well took it to the house had he busted through that last line of defense.
Ottawa in plus territory. They need to reach the Lexington 43. 5 wide now. McCall in the shotgun. 6 DBs on the field for the Miners. 4-man rush. McCall over the middle. That is caught! Harry Harper brings it in. The backup wide receiver comes up big for McCall.
Oh, I think they're going to say he dropped it, Josh.
Oh, wow. No. Harry Harper, how could you?
My goodness. I thought I was like you, man. I thought that he had that and was able to bring it down to the turf. I would be kind of surprised if they didn't try to challenge that or see if that wasn't a possibility. But nevertheless, I guess it was indeed a drop. My eyes, just like you, I wasn't able to see it. I guess the camera angle there. Nevertheless, 4th down.
And another near block by Lexington on the punt. The burner at his 11. Dragged down as that Ottawa special team swarms him once again to get him at the 15. Have you ever wanted to be the play-by-play or analyst broadcaster on an SFL live game? The SFL is looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for the minor league season and ahead of season 21's kickoff in July. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details. We would love to have you. Just putting that out there. Chad Moore for the 15, nearly picked off, deflected by Devontae Moore. And Moore had a free lane to the end zone as well that time.
Sure did. If that pass hadn't kind of whizzed by him there to where he was just able to get his one hand up to swat it away, if he'd been in a little better position there, he was going to go all the way to the house for 6. Let me say real quick, talking about the SFL and being an analyst here, one of the best decisions I think I've ever made as far as just a great opportunity to connect with people and watch some great football and get to use what little bit of talent I've got here, man. Really enjoying it.
And we're glad to have you. And you are a newer broadcaster, too. We've got some guys that have been around for a while. As Chad Morris hit as he throws and complete 3rd and 10. But you got onboarded. Season 20 was your first season in the bigs. You came in, and you were as green could be, but you embraced the volatility of it, the excitement of it, and I, for one, have thought you've done a fantastic job in your very short career here so far, Cameron. It's great to have you. Chad Moore thrown over the middle. That is going to be a fresh set of downs as Alex Jackson comes up with another high leverage catch.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much. And right there, great reception by Jackson to keep this drive alive. I will say this, it really makes it easy to anyone who may be out there contemplating, applying for something like this. If you have a good community of people like you have right here at the SFL, that makes it so much easier. I mean, made it such a smooth progress, transition.
Moore swings it out to Willie Smoke, makes a spin move out to the 30, down at the 33. That's a nice gain on first down for Willie Smoke, swinging it out of the backfield.
Nice job right there by Smokes. He has really they've utilized him so much in this game so far. And again, he is the counterpart to Salmons over there on the Ottawa side. He's primed for a big play too. Obviously, he's already had the big touchdown, but he's somebody else. The more you give him the ball, the better he looks.
Pierce Cooley, the fullback in the game. We've not seen much of him tonight. Staying in the block, and that is deflected and off. Ottawa comes up with the first turnover of the game. It's Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan right there. We kept talking about it, didn't we, Josh? We kept saying that one of these passes, one of these deflections, they're going to hang in the air a little too long. And that's exactly what happened. Look at that right there. I mean, and Ryan was just like a shark at feeding time, just waiting for that little nibble. And a lot of food references, and I totally don't mean that. But I got to say that's what it reminded me of. I mean, just patiently waiting back there in the pocket. He sees the live ball. Big-time defensive play.
And now Ottawa will start this drive almost in field goal range as McCall lets it rip and Iniguez gets out at the 35. Again, the nickel and diamond continues, but this time through the air for the Cavalry. Oh, he's holding his hip, too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He comes up limping a little bit in that one. They may have to take him out and kind of get some ice on that, make sure he can continue in this game.
Iniguez has gotten a lot of volume from McCall in this game tonight, and I think every catch he's had, he has been smacked by somebody. Two-back set now for McCall at 2nd and 6. Four-man rush. McCall lets it rip, and there's another catch, and that is Azami Mihata coming up with a big-time grab to get in the red zone.
Yeah, and just like what happened with Lexington at the end of the first half, you're starting to see it now with Ottawa. Just this burst of offensive agility that you really didn't see, and then once it just takes off, it's like a spark. And again, moving the ball really well. Now, if you are Lexington, what can you do? Can you stop? Can you bend but not break? This is going to be interesting. We haven't seen Ottawa in this position yet, really.
No, we've not. Not see McCall in this position either, just unloading. A little miscommunication there with Henry McGee, and that'll be 2nd and 10.
Just a little timing issue there, like you mentioned. It was one of those things where I don't believe that that he was really set to make that pass yet. He kind of hurried that one a little bit. So back to the drawing board.
And what will Ottawa choose to do here? If this drive decides to stall out, the field goal will not give them the lead, but it will pull them within a point. Should they get another field goal down the road, they would be able to take the lead. And there is a swing pass from Salmons. And Salmons still 2 yards shy of the sticks, but it should make for an interesting 3rd down.
And I think this right here is probably the most critical play of the game thus far. 3rd and 2. They've been able to stop you on short yardage so far. Do you continue with the run or do you go with the pass? I got to tell you what, I think I may be wanting to take it to the air, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you could do either from this situation. Salmons stopped in the backfield. The ground game swallowed up by the Lexington defenders and number 96, Gerald Cumbus.
Yeah, he come back from his season last year, returning to the team, 6'6", 268, and that right there was a drive killer. I have to agree. I guess Ottawa needs to try to get the points that they can. But, boy, I tell you what, I know they had a lot more that they were hoping for in that one. Big win for Lexington in that column.
And so the Cavalry will settle for the field goal. And for 28 yards, the kick is good, and Ottawa will pull within a point. It's 7-6.
Man, I can't stress that enough. Josh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over top of you there, but how big that could end up being in this game.
Oh, it's absolutely huge. And getting a TFL on 3rd down, not totally sure what Ottawa's going to do. And I'm with you. I think putting it in the air would have been a prudent move.
It just seemed too
credit
predictable.
Credit where it's due to the Lexington defense. And now the Miners will go back on offense with 3:46 to play in the third quarter. Burner from inside his 5 once again. One of his better returns of the night. In fact, his best return of the night in terms of field position, getting out to the 28-yard line. This summer, you can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K 23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL or through the all-new league website at simulationfl.net. Willie Smoke up the middle, spinning out to the 34-yard line to make it 2nd and 4.
Yeah, you take a look at today's game and you see what Smoke has been able to do. As I said, I think he's been primed to make a big run here. And again, I think Lexington seems pretty comfortable continuing to feed him that football. Very methodical this third quarter for Lexington, just trying to not make too many mistakes.
And this is not a bad way to sit on a 1-point lead either, especially in this game. Chad Moore over the middle. That is caught. And once again, Alex Jackson comes up with a big catch over the middle.
I have to say, as many troubles as they have had, and they've had issues in this game, a hard time keeping the quarterback up on his feet, and then, of course, that tipped interception on the last series, they look really comfortable. And I think that that's a mark of really this team and the talent that they possess. They know that anytime that the ball's in their hands, they can make something happen. I think that radiates off of a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think inertia over the course of the season is very real. Moore throwing out to his left, and that's another catch. And look out, because Chad Moore is heating up.
Yeah, he is indeed starting to really feel it. I think also I got to give credit to that offensive line. The line is holding up better too. We've not seen, obviously, some adjustments that they made during halftime has helped. We've not seen Snack Lawrence and some of them in the backfield like we did in the first 2 quarters.
Agreed on that front. 2nd and 3 now. Smoke with 2 backs behind him as Pierce Cooley checks back in. 5-step drop, throwing to his right on the sideline. That is caught by Ian Francis. Francis maneuvering his way back into the fold, and that's a fresh set of downs for the Miners in field goal range.
Very early on in this third quarter, you talked about it, Josh. They're opening the playbook up a little bit. Also, what they're doing, they're putting Chad Moore in a lot more 3-step drop, 5-step drop plays, not holding on to the football for too long. And right now, it's got Ottawa kind of reeling.
Willie Smoke up the middle, getting a nice block on the trap play, getting 8 yards on first down to make it 2nd and 2.
I think that's a great decision, when you take a look at it over the course of this third quarter. When they haven't been feeding the ball to Willie Smoke, they've been getting rid of it very, very quickly, picking up on what Ottawa was able to do best, and now taking that away from them.
Moore dropping back, throwing to the left sideline. Again, it's Barney Burner, and Burner gets his team into the red zone for just the 2nd time tonight.
Well, there you go, down to the 17-yard line, obviously well in field goal range, but they're not thinking about a field goal right here, no sir. And how important will that be if they're able to punch this in for a touchdown with Ottawa still just the 6 points on the board? That could be interesting.
Chad Moore under pressure, hit as he releases the ball. It will be incomplete, but tremendous pressure from Tommy Welbrock-Busey as he's able to get that jersey of Chad Moore just a little bit dirtier tonight.
And that's exactly right. That's what you do. How do you stop that momentum? I mean, they're rolling. It looks like you can't stop them. Well, you get in there with a big-time defensive play right when they needed it most, and that could very much derail a drive. We'll just have to see how that pans out.
Ottawa stacks the box on 2nd and 10. 2 tight ends to Moore's left, and Smoke barely gets back to the line of scrimmage as he gets popped by Liam Howard, the backup defensive tackle, for 3rd and 10.
I believe that's the first time we've had an opportunity to call Liam's name out thus far in this game, but a really nice job right there of plugging up the hole and coming up with a big tackle.
And now Smoke in the backfield by his lonesome on 3rd and 10. They go play action, and Moore will throw to the corner, and it's caught! Alex Jackson once again to make it 1st and goal for the Miners.
Ice in his veins. I mean, take a look at Chad Moore right here. He just drops back right in the face of pressure coming, but he knew where he was going the whole time. He was just waiting on Jackson to make the break, and that was a really nice play. That was just a team that you can tell doesn't really get rattled when they may be, their backs may be against the wall there, and just a nice job. And boy, that may take the wind out of Ottawa's sails. We'll just have to see.
And credit where it's due. That was a beautiful ball. Perfect spiral from Chad Moore. 1st and goal now. Smoke takes the handoff, and he's dropped at the 5-yard line. That was Logan Thronberg. Bring it down the running back to make it 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Thronberg, another one of those guys returning from last season as well. 243, 6'3". Boy, that was a big-time tackle.
May I have some 4s in chat, please? We got a 1-point game here on a minor league Friday night. You're watching the SFLm presented by APM Music on YouTube. We are north of the border tonight. Josh Circle camera duty up in the booth. Chad Moore under center trying to extend his team's lead in their bid to go 3-0. Dropping back under pressure. Throwing outside, and that is caught and brought down at the 2-yard line is Pierce Cooley, the fullback. And that is Cooley's first catch. They're going to spot him at the 1 officially as the 4th quarter is now underway.
I'm telling you, I have to give credit for Moore right there. Great decision-making. He didn't throw that football away. He didn't force anything down the field. He took what the defense gave him. 2
receivers, 2 tight ends. Huge 3rd down. Up the middle, Smoke is going to be dropped. They're going to call it down at the line of scrimmage. Now 4th and goal. Officially inside the 1. Liam Howard once again with the stop.
My goodness, I'd love to see a replay on that. I thought he was in, Josh. I really did. I mean,
I did too. We're not going to see any sort of challenge on that either.
Goodness.
As Victor Washington, who's returning from last year, is going to attempt a chip shot field goal. This would be barely 17 yards. Spot is down, kick is up. And it is good, and Lexington does extend their lead to make it 10-6. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and more, visit apmmusic.com. Lexington sitting on what feels like a mammoth 4-point lead here in the 4th quarter as Ryan Davis gets his team out to the 29-yard line. And the collars just got a little bit tighter on that Ottawa sideline there, Cameron.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, they did get lucky there, and, they only got a field goal out of it as opposed to that touchdown, which I thought was a sure thing. And now they've just got to go back down the field. They've got plenty of time. Just use that clock up if you can. A real methodical drive here and try to get a touchdown. That's what you need. Break through to the end zone.
Over the middle, and that is caught. A rare deep catch from Tyreek McCall. Derikas Iniguez with his 8th catch of the night. You can see he's been a popular guy on that Ottawa passing game.
He sure has. And I tell you what, that was a rough-looking pass. Look at that. That looked more like a field goal than a pass. But you know what? It got it done, didn't it? I mean, it did just enough. Delivered right there in the face of 3 or 4 defenders, and a nice job of coming down with that reception as well.
Yeah, that's a gain of 17 for Derikas Iniguez. And Tyreek McCall comes out swinging on their 3rd drive of the 2nd half. Over the middle again, looking for an Iniguez a 2nd time. But DJ Kilgannon had other ideas. 2nd and 10.
Well, we've called that name all game long. Kilgannon has just done a fantastic job of really setting right there in his zone that he covers, of course. And they've really challenged him quite a bit in this game, and he's been able to rise to the occasion on a lot of those occurrences.
2nd and 10 now. Lexington showing blitz. 2 backs in the backfield for Ottawa. Over the middle again. Iniguez again. And caught again. And Iniguez will make it 3rd and 3 as we hit 9 minutes remaining here in regulation.
No need to panic. 9 minutes remaining. It is 3rd and 3, but Ottawa right here. 0-2 coming into this game, desperately seeking out their first win. Just be smart right here. Don't do anything too hasty. Is all I can say.
Another two-back set for the Cavalry. And another 5-step drop from McCall throwing, and that is caught. Azami Mihata with another high-leverage catch here in the second half, and that will move the chains for Ottawa.
Fantastic. And Mihata, that's a name that we have called much more this second half, getting him utilized in that. And what that does is that opens up the opportunities. That's just somebody else Lexington's going to have to hone in on. Maybe that will allow somebody else for Ottawa to step up and make a big play that Lexington forgets about.
Inside the 40-yard line, McCall throwing to the corner again. That is batted away by Noah Davis. And Davis has not made a lot of plays in his first SFLm game, but they've been big ones.
They have, like you said, just signed this week and getting in, learning a defense like he has. That's a really nice job right there. And again, just seeing the ball, watching it, watch his eyes, watch him the whole way there. He knows where that ball is going to go and just gets his hand up and swats that thing down.
2nd and 10 now. The clock stops with 8:08 remaining. And Tyreek McCall has been turning up the volume ever so slightly here in the second half. And I think the volume is going to come up even more here in the Lexington half of the field. 3 wide receiver set. So McCall under center. Lexington on the twist, throwing to the left side. That is caught. Henry McGee making the catch to make it 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and you know what? I know that isn't a first down, but that's now 3rd and 4. I mean, any kind of positive yardage you can get down here, that's big. I mean, especially against a team like Lexington who has had such a bend but don't break mentality, because it's hard enough to convert. 3rd and 4 is going to be hard enough, but man, imagine if it was just a little bit longer. This will help open up the playbook some.
Agree with that. McCall again dumps it over to Iniguez, and Iniguez needed just a little bit more before he got his hands on that ball. It'll be 4th and 2 at the 30. And we will see what Ottawa decides to do here.
I think that was a good play call. I really do. It wasn't anything too risky, and they went right for the marker, right where they needed to get. It was just basically better coverage, a better executed play by Lexington there, and we saw it quite a bit in this game.
And so a long field goal attempt coming up here for Jacobson. This will be 46 yards from the left hash. Spot is down, kick is up, and it is good. And once again, we have a 1-point game.
Well, that was impressive. I mean, that really was. That was a heck of a field goal kick. That's nothing to sneeze at right there. And again, just a beautiful end-over-end kick. Huge, of course, because that's now a 1-point game. And if you are Ottawa's defense right here, we look at the underdog scenario with Ottawa. You can come up with a big defensive stop and get the ball back. Well, you got a field goal kicker who's already proved themselves tonight.
Ottawa has the only turnover in this game, a Matt Ryan interception that Ottawa was able to convert on a 28-yard field goal before. Barney Burner, though, however, has other ideas, getting loose as he approaches midfield. And contrary to what we've seen all night, Barney Burner getting loose on the special team side.
Barney Burner, we said it. After that drop, I said that's only going to reinvigorate him to come up with a big play. And, man, he has. He's come up with some great receptions since, and that is by far the best kick return that we have saw of this game. He was primed to take that one loose and get all the way down the field, but that's demoralizing for Ottawa. You get them, you get on the board, you make it a 1-score game, and then the special teams comes right out and literally makes it the length of an arena football field is all you have to go.
Chad Moore under center, hands off to Smoke. Smoke, a couple of yards. We'll get into plus territory, but that's it. 2nd down.
It's been fun. It's been fun watching these guys. I mean, I think this game has almost flown by like in the blink of an eye. Here we are, 6 minutes and some change left in the 4th. And both of these teams, man, I tell you what, Ottawa hasn't played like an 0-2 team, and Lexington right now coming out showing why they're 3-0. It's been a fun, very evenly matched game.
It's been gritty. That's the word I would use for it, just gritty. Willie Smoke trying to show some grit here as he is brought down by Logan Thronberg, setting up a huge third down for the Miners.
Yep, this is big. I'm one of those people, I like to look down the road. Yeah, maybe, a point short here, or maybe a touchdown here as opposed to a field goal. Yeah, I like looking at all those things. I'm a stats guy. And I mentioned this third down could be huge if they can't convert here and Ottawa gets this ball back. Biggest play of the game for Lexington.
5 wide for the Miners. Moore releases, has the first down. A huge catch there by number 83. That's Frank Hubbard, the number 4 wide receiver in this offense, and little Frankie delivers the first down for the Miners.
Let me correct myself. I said 3-0. I'm sorry, 2-0. Trying to go 3-0. But a play like that will get you there. A great job on this offensive unit right here by Lexington, keeping this thing rolling.
A huge conversion for the Miners as we reach the 5.5-minute mark in regulation. Moore under pressure, and down he goes again. The first sack in the second half for the Ottawa Cavalry. This time it's Rob Gesser.
And what's been the difference in this game the second half, Josh? We mentioned it. Lack of defensive pressure, but Gesser gets in and makes a big-time play right when they needed it. I mean, they had really shut them out of that backfield for the most part in the second half, but they come up with it big time there. Wow, now how's Lexington going to respond?
Second a country mile. The Miners with a 1-point lead, trying to go 3-0. Currently the last undefeated team in the minor league. Willie Smoke, flag on the play, will get dropped at the line of scrimmage. Let's see what the penalty is.
Yeah, fantastic open field tackled if it will stand here.
Wow, that is a huge call. Ineligible receiver down the field. And that will be 2nd and 19. That'll put him all the way back at the 50.
You do not want to have mistakes like that happen this late in the ball game. And I tell you what, that's really shooting yourself in the foot. And now Ottawa all of a sudden has to be feeling really good about that. If you are Lexington, we talked about it though. They've played a couple of plays in this game. It's like they've had ice in their veins. Nothing has fazed them. What will they do here?
Lexington back on their own side of the field for 2nd and 19. 5 DBs on the field for the Cavalry. Moore in the shotgun, throwing to the sideline, finds Jackson inside the numbers, actually. It'll be 3rd and 16. You see the passing numbers there. Chad Moore's been a busy man tonight.
Sure has. 240, taking it to the air quite a bit for this Lexington team. 3rd and 16, the biggest third down of the game thus far.
Trips to Moore's left. 6 DBs for the Cavalry. Moore has time. And now scrambling. Hit as he's thrown. And it's caught again. A huge catch and an amazing conversion. And look who it is. Little Frankie Hubbard.
Frankie Hubbard, one of those guys that you can't take your eyes off of because he just possesses the skill. Man, let's talk about Moore. I think I've said a couple of times in this game, he's got to get rid of that football. Don't hold on to that football, But, man, it was really him holding on to that football just long enough for Frankie to get open made all the difference. What a play.
A 3rd and 16 conversion from the Lexington Miners. And Chad Moore's not done yet. Throwing to his left now. And there's another first down. And once again, it's Alex Jackson.
What did we say? Ice in their veins, didn't we, Josh? We've mentioned it a couple of times. That's what great teams are made of. And they're looking to really, potentially win tonight. And they feel like they can run the table. You can just tell with the way that this team plays, nothing gets them down. They don't get too far behind or backed up against the wall. They can find a way out of it. Very impressive.
And now in the red zone, Willie Smoke gets a call again to the 10. Dragged down, and what might have been a touchdown-saving tackle from Dusty Kilbrew. And it'll be 2nd and 2.
Indeed, and they got to feel pretty content to run with Willie Smoke right here, and why not? I mean, this guy has been a pure workhorse when it gets down to this point in the game. And when they get down to this side of the field, they really have relied on them heavily. And why not? He has produced some great numbers today.
Less than 3.5 to play in regulation. A touchdown here, any sort of score here would almost be a dagger for the Cavalry. Lexington trying to go 3-0. They are right now the last minor league unbeaten. Willie Smoke inside the 5. Touchdown! Lexington extends their lead.
It all goes back to that third down. Literally, he was stretched out, like he was Superman, making that heroic pass and a great reception by Frankie. And then Willie Smoke coming in at the end of this thing. Just a lot of great little plays on this drive that you can look back on and see that and watch him even switch the ball there to a different hand as he crossed the end zone to make sure they couldn't strip that out. Very impressive. But yeah, just a couple of plays that they have done a really nice job of grit, as you mentioned. That's the right word. Just a lot of grit, and Lexington showing that they deserve to potentially be an undefeated 3-0.
And now Victor Washington will attempt to add the extra point. This will make it an 8-point game, and it is good. And so Ottawa, they do trail by a single score, but they have not found the end zone tonight, and they have just over 3 minutes to find it if they want to stay in this game.
And let's give a credit, a call to Ottawa. I know they're going to get the ball back here and have a shot at this one. Man, they've played a tough game today. They really have, coming in against a very difficult Lexington team to deal with. And it's not over yet. I mean, we could see some late game scoring by them. They've really played above what their record shows.
Davis out to the 26. And that is where Tyreek McCall will take over. We talked about opening the playbook up from Ottawa, Cameron, and I think the playbook has to be, at least in terms of aggression, has to be wide open here for Ottawa if they're going to get the ball down the field.
It's got to be. This is really where you have to just really throw everything out, even the kitchen sink right now. I mean, just see what you can get. Methodical's great, but now we need to see some big-time passes, big-time plays.
4 wide for McCall, has a receiver open, and that is caught! Operating down the field, it's Harry Harper who had the huge drop just a couple drives ago, and now Ottawa will hurry up in plus territory.
Yeah, and I like this play call.
McCall, the screen pass, has some good blocking there, and Dwayne Sammons has a lane inside the 30, down at the 22. Ottawa with 2 of their biggest plays of the night.
Oh, that was cool, man. Got them right where they wanted them, did they not? Look at that right there. A great screen and going back to Sammons. And look at them little moves right there. That's really neat. I think that's what you need to do. We just talked about it. Come up with things differently so they go to the no huddle. I like that. I like the tempo that they had. And then right there, they mix it up with 2 very different plays. You got the deep ball before that and then that little drop off, but still big time yardage. And right now already in field goal range, they're looking for 6. And save time.
2 huge plays to start the drive. And there is another completion there on the left sideline to get close to the 15-yard line. It's Henry McGee, 2nd and 4.
I think if you keep this ball in bounds, obviously you can't right here as it ran out of bounds, but if this ends up being a situation where you can go no huddle, I think that's what you need to do if you're Ottawa, because that, in this game so far, that was the best offensive production that we have seen on that little burst right there. And they found a way to maybe make something happen if that is the case.
Ottawa needs the touchdown and the 2-point conversion just to tie. McCall under pressure, throws a quill to the end zone, knocked away. That's that is Shane Hill with the pass deflected, and now a huge 3rd down for Ottawa.
Shane Hill, we've called his name a couple times in this game, haven't we, Josh? I mean, he's come up in some big-time situations, maybe none more big than what that was right there.
Who gets their number called here on 3rd and 4 for Ottawa? Trying to fight for their first win of the season. McCall throws toward the line to gain, and that is caught but short of the marker. Ryan Davis is going to miss the line to gain by a yard.
That's been the story of the game all night. I mean, they wanted to try to be smart there and just go for the first instead of going to the end zone, and they come up short. We've seen it time and time again. This Lexington defense has just really ascended on them. They haven't been able to convert.
Ottawa fighting for their first win of SFLm Season 7. They need to convert on 4th down to even have a chance to tie. Tyreek McCall under center. 2 tight ends to his right. McCall will have a short drop. Throws to his right. That is caught. I think he's short.
Short.
Abad Ruiz, the second on his first catch of the game, is going to go backwards.
Yeah, I don't agree with that decision making. I'll be honest with you. I saw that they had Salmons out there in the flat all by himself. The coverage totally went to the right. Salmons, had they been able to take a second look over to the left side of the field, could have easily walked in for 6. That's a heartbreaker.
Chad Moore will have to kill him in at 56, and who better to help him do that than Willie Smoke? And Ottawa will call their first timeout of the second half.
That's probably the roughest part. Was it looked like the play was actually going to be set up really well for that conversion. I mean, 4th and 1 had a couple different options there. And again, let's give credit to this Lexington defense. I mean, they crowded the line, they swarmed the football, and the big guy just couldn't convert.
Pierce Cooley back in the game at fullback, helping to block, and Moore unloads and finds Barney Burner. They're going to say he was out of bounds before he caught the football.
Man, we've seen so many of those plays during this game along the sidelines over there. I personally looked to me like he kind of stayed in, but, I
thought he had it too. And what a huge error now for Lexington, giving Ottawa basically one of their timeouts back.
Yeah, essentially you're correct on that.
3rd and 6 now, 3 wideouts for Lexington. Short drop for Moore. Unloads, and that is stopped! Ottawa's fighting their way back into this game. It's Roy Towers.
What in the world? Roy Towers, look at this, man. When you need a play, and he read that perfectly. He stayed step for step right there with Barney Burner, and he literally just jumped in front of that one, picked that one right out of the air. And, man, that's why you watch the SFL. It's no game is ever out of the question. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. Why is Chad Moore throwing in that situation?
Exactly. I wondered that myself. A little too aggressive, in my opinion.
Play action on the heavy set. McCall throwing to the sideline and fighting for yardage is Azami Mihata down to the 4-yard line. It's 1st and goal.
And let's give Mihata some credit right there. Mihata has done a wonderful job. I mean, the second half, all of a sudden, he just comes out of nowhere. We start calling his name, and he has become a go-to guy on this offense today with some fantastic receptions. And right there, and that word again, grit. He would not be denied. Got some big-time yardage.
Arguably his 3rd huge catch of the half. This certainly the most important. McCall throwing toward the end zone, and then intercepted. J.J. Bailey snags it out of the sky.
I'm interested to see if he actually was in bounds on that. I would expect the challenger review here.
Maybe not.
I thought it looked like he got pushed out. I mean, you got to expect a review, but no.
No review. Abad Ruiz had it, shoved him out of the back of the end zone. Bailey did not have a single foot down, not from we could see from that angle. But Lexington's going to keep the ball. This is astounding.
Oh, my goodness.
Dueling interceptions then, as Ottawa now has to use their second timeout as Willie Smoke gets out to the 29.
He was, he was not in bounds on that. My goodness, how about that? Man? What a game in this last 2 minutes. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions.
I need to take some Dramamine. Lexington's still not out of the woods by any stretch. And Moore continues to put the ball in the air. Smoke is going to barely get back to the line of scrimmage. And now it's 3rd and 2 as Ottawa uses their last timeout.
Yeah, indeed. I am so shocked that they're still throwing this ball. I mean, you've got Smoke in the backfield. Just run the ball. I mean, that's all it's going to take. 3rd and 2. Don't dare go to the air here.
No, you run this ball, and then you just punt it away. And a 2 tight end set suggests that Chad Moore could do just that. 7 in the box for Ottawa. No, he's going to throw it. Pump fake. Throws behind the line, and again, Smoke is dropped. And the clock will run And Ottawa's going to get this ball back with about 35 seconds left in regulation.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you have to take a look at that and see that this clock is going to run down, and they're really going to be, their backs against the wall when they get that back. So surprised that they continue to pass on that, though, man. Very, very, very bold. Let's put it that way. We'll see what this last minute has in store for us.
Bold is a word for it. In Ottawa, who has had their chances, a turnover on downs, an end zone interception. And now we'll get one more shot at this as Ryan Davis takes the punt from his own 30 and is blasted at the 37. And he is slow to get up, and understandably so.
Yeah, that made me kind of sore just watching that. I mean, that was, you know what that was? That's taking a little bit of aggression out, wasn't it? A little frustrated about how the last couple of minutes has went there in the game, even though right now it looks like it is in hand. That was a little bit of frustration being taken out on that tackle, no doubt.
3 wideouts for Tyreek McCall. And Lexington not making any real adjustments here, throwing over the middle. And that is Mihata. And they will hurry up. Ottawa, of course, out of timeouts.
Yeah, you're not going to make much ground up short passes like that. Go deep.
Need to take a shot. Mihata again. And they are in plus territory. 11 seconds remaining. McCall spikes it with 9 seconds. And as you said, Cameron, you got to have a throw to the end zone here at some point.
Yeah, you sure do. If I have to say one thing, and I think you can say a lot of good things about Ottawa tonight, a young group of players who really have played their hearts out against a very tough team.
Yes.
But, you gotta be a little more bold, I feel like. And there's that word again, bold. You got to take some shots. I mean, you just have to. You can't be too conservative.
Hail Mary full of grace. Tyreek McCall unloads it down to the end zone and falls incomplete at last, but still 1 second remaining. As that ball, I think, bounced off of 4 different players and almost fell on somebody's chest, laying just outside the end zone. Of course, if that had been a catch, they would have restarted the clock and the game would have ended. But in the interest of drama and fair play, we'll do it one more time.
And remember, if they score, they've got to get the 2-point conversion to tie it.
But first things first. 4 wide to McCall's right, and he is under pressure, and he goes. A huge sack to end the festivities. Congratulations to the Lexington Miners. They hang on to go 3-0, 17-9, your final. All right, Cameron, try and sum that game up, why don't you?
I don't know that I can in just a few short words there, my friend. I tell you what, Josh, that was great. Look at that. I mean, the passing yards as well, really close. Let's talk about both of these teams. Lexington improving to 3-0. Again, finding a way to win it when it matters. No, they made it really interesting, and they let Ottawa stay in this game a couple of times there. But Lexington, again, locking down and doing what they needed to best with Willie Smoke. Big-time touchdowns from him. Big-time receptions right there as well from gentlemen like Xavier Solomon, Barney Burner, Alex Jackson, just to name a few, and more played a fantastic game. Ottawa, on the other hand, as we said, let's talk about a young team with a lot of potential. That's what the SFLm is you're looking for potential. This is a young team in Ottawa. I think they've got a lot of talent, and they play tough against a very, very formidable opponent. As we said, the only unbeaten team in the SFL right now, in the SFLm, excuse me. So, a good game, a really exciting game, a lot closer than maybe what some of people would have even expected. And I think the word that you used best of any word that we've said in this entire game, Josh, it's grit. Both teams had it, and it made for a fun Friday night of football.
Yeah, it really did. And Ottawa, absolutely nothing to be ashamed about. 0-3. This might be one of the best 0-3 teams we've seen in SFL history. Taking Lexington absolutely to the wire. And then the controversial interception, the right foot steps out of bounds. They rule it a catch and a touchback. A huge decision point in the game. Your player of the game, Willie Smoke, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns, the only 2 touchdowns in the game. Congratulations to Mr. Smoke. And as well, as the Lexington Miners football team 3-0 to start SFLm Season 7. For Cameron Irvine, Camera Duty, my name's Josh Circle. Thank you for joining us. Albuquerque and Tacoma are wrapping up on SFL YouTube. Head on over there. Until then, we will see you on the internet. Good night.